All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. I'm going to check its local and its city search, see if they got BSS for any of these. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that in the pinned video, pinned post, home video, wherever. That's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. A rise in boudoir photographers, rise in business, probably pulling peeps from the entire intent spectrum here. All the way on the left, the highest intent people, all the way on the right, the lowest intent people. And when a boudoir photography business is falling, they're missing some chunk of people somewhere on this, on this intent spectrum. So here we focus on way on the left, the highest intent people, focusing on BSS. Its highest intent peeps are searching for boudoir photo shoots literally in our city right now on social search, social media search, and Google search. And all the way over on the right, the lowest intent peeps, that's our other brand, our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we're talking about BLCS. And currently we only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand per month on boudoir Facebook ads. Lowest intent people, but it's the highest volume of peeps in our city that exist. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots, we're dying a fast death here because that means we're on page 2 or deeper. And we also know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches, which means, dude, approximately 80% of the peeps, literally the bulk of the market, would never even see us if we're on page 2 Google search. So we definitely got to be on page 1, but 1 slot on page 1, that ain't enough. We're looking the same as everyone else. Everyone, other boudoir photographers going to have 1 slot. And, a buyer is just going to be, clicking everyone on page 1, open them up, contacting them, price shopping, comparing. And, they ain't 80% ain't even going to page 2. So we're really only competing against page 1 peeps over here. So that is boudoir search sameness. Now, 0 out of 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Extremely common, but it's not normal. To have such few page 1 slots on Google, it's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know about this one. It's where, people get a new iPhone and they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying that they, offer boudoir, throwing up their website, ranking on page 1 on Google. And also if they get new camera, if someone gets new camera posted in the mom Facebook groups that they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. So most people know about that. Also, big market saturation. When COVID happened, a lot of people lost their jobs, still earned money. And dude, everyone who's got his phone has got a great camera. So a lot became boudoir photographers. That's why there's a massive deluge of boudoir photographers in at that time. Next, we got the false belief of page 1 equality. So this, from what I've seen, is the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is the false belief. So the belief of page 1 equality is, basically every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's how the cookie crumbles. And maybe you had 1 slot on page 1, but some more boudoir photographers came into the market, and your website got pushed to page 2 on Google, and you're like, that's how it is. It is what it is. But no, that is incorrect. That's not normal. That's the false belief of page 1 equality. What's actually true is Google actually wants to give us and will give us, or wants to give and will give the as many page 1 slots as possible to whoever puts in the effort to take them. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 in Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in 10 days utilizing this new methodology we've developed. So false belief of page 1 equality, it's not real. Everyone is accepted as real, everyone is accepted as normal, and it's not. That's completely wrong. So because it's kind of like a brain cage, people don't even see it's possible to break out of it, so they don't even know solutions are out there. But we do have the solution now. But before that, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. I think if we're on page 2, we got 0 slots on page 1, then basically nope, approximately 80% of searches ain't never gonna find us. So we're disappearing. If we're one slot on page 1, we look the same as everyone else, being price shopped. We're not standing out. We're not getting any subconscious bonus points. And so disappearing boudoir photographer, this is the canary in a coal mine to a disappearing boudoir photography business. So if we got BSS, we know we're disappearing. We're going down the wrong path here. That's the signal for us that, hey, we got to turn things around. Luckily, we do have the solution. We have it because we created it. We invented this. It's called the S-cubed methodology, social search saturation. It is doing exactly what it says. We're saturating social search with the highest intent keywords, so it can be found on search on social media. People search those keywords for boudoir photo shoots in their city, and these are kind of like the small rivers on the backside of the Andes Mountain that then flow into the large Amazon River, which would be Google. So these results flow into Google, page 1 of Google, and this is the only solution that I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually successfully fight back and overcome and still grow a business in the face of market saturation and get results relatively quickly, because the only other solution for that is a strong brand, which takes years, 5 or more years, probably more than a decade to acquire. So S-cubed methodology gets results way faster than that, and it actually accelerates becoming a brand name as well. So, imagine let's say we got a million boudoir photographers. Dallas, Texas, we're one of them. Everyone's got their websites and their boudoir photographer. Find a rank page 1 on Google. But let's say we crank S-cubed methodology up to the max, where we're occupying like the first 300 slots for the highest intent keywords across the 4 major social networks. And as a result, that flows onto Google. We're occupying the first 300 slots on Google for the highest intent keywords as well. Then anytime anyone in Dallas is searching for a boudoir photo shoot, dude, they're basically only going to see us for the first 30 pages, because Google's 10 organic slots per page. So a buyer's basically got to hit page 31 to bring in any or find a bunch of other competing boudoir photographers in Dallas. So we're saturating everywhere: social search, Google search, wherever they look. So who business is growing, even though there's 1 million boudoir photographers in the city? Only ours. And that's because we would have taken S-cubed methodology to the max in the face of extreme market saturation. Now, once BSS is treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. Now, a bonus of this is that for every 1 slot we get on Google page 1, we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Because we know approximately 80% of boudoir of Google searches never go to page 2. They are page 1 only searches. So it's kind of a bonus effect of us getting way more page 1 slots on Google. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. This is where we have our GBC recommended minimum of, we want to actually hit 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google minimum. And the reason for that is, everyone else is basically going to have 1 slot. So our 3 slots to their 1 slot. First of all, we've kicked out 2 more competitors to be compared against, or maybe even 3 if we had started with 0 slots. And, searchers, buyers subconsciously are going to say, like, why is Google recommending this person 3 different times? I'm going to click into them first and maybe not even look at the other people on page 1. So that's 3 slots versus 1. Very, very rarely someone will have 2 slots. So we'll still be looking at as the better option by having 3 slots over the one that has 2 slots. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the twin horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. But finally, thankfully, we have a solution here. S-cubed methodology works way faster than building a brand that takes a decade. And we achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So now my results here using S-cubed methodology for myself. I wanted to rank for the term, see right up here, BLCS boudoir. And so let's go down to the organic slots. So we got slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So literally, I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days utilizing S-cubed methodology for myself. And the main event here, we're going to check out this boudoir photography business. Looks like we're going to Pflugerville, Texas. We're going to go see if it's local search, see if it's city search, see if they got BSS or what, see what's going on. All right, so we're going to Pflugerville, Texas. All right. All right, see what we got. All right. Boom, we got 1. 2. 3. All right, we got 3 out of 10 for local. Nice. Good, good. Let's go. We're going to Austin now. 3 out of 10. Let's see what we got. See what we got cooking here. Okay. All right, so we got 3 out of 10, and then looks like 0 out of 10. Okay. So we're at 3 out of 10 and 0 out of 10. So local, we're good. We did not have BSS, and we did get the GBC recommended minimum. We did hit that level. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1, Google search. And then for city, we got 0 out of 10. So we do have BSS for city, Austin, and we did not reach the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1, Google search. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've done your local search, you've done your city search, either have BSS for one of those, or you're not meeting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for one of those. And you realize this means you're starting to disappear. A disappearing boudoir photographer. This is the first kind of flag, the first kind of warning light. If we start becoming disappearing here, eventually the business becomes disappearing as well. And you're seeing S-cubed methodology like, yes, this is exactly what I need. This is what you've been wanting to use or wanting to have as a solution for a while. And you've already broken out the false belief of page 1 equality. And you understand market saturation. Yeah, people get new gear, okay. And you're loving the initial awesome benefits, S-cubed methodology, more links, page 1 Google, kicking more competitors off page 1 of Google, kind of making them become disappearing boudoir photographers. And you're looking ahead and you're seeing, since you understand market saturation, you're actually seeing that AI is going to be taking a ton of people's jobs more and more over time. So it's literally going to be kind of bringing in a larger and larger amount of boudoir photographers over time. So you're realizing you got to fortify your position on page 1 on Google. Not just get it right now, but actually kind of build up even excess links in the back end in reserve. That so many links out there that actually prevents any future competing boudoir photographers from getting on page 1 either. And you're saying, okay, S-cubed methodology is also the only thing you see that can accomplish that. So it's kind of a near-term extra benefit. And you want to achieve boudoir search page 1 visibility, so that you become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you know you need those things in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also understand the future back-end benefits of becoming the #1, or of utilizing S-cubed methodology. Is basically the first one is you're building up these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of like plugged into your brand, plugged into your business name, your website, your social media handles, or kind of like spokes, hub and spoke, plugging these different spoke columns into your brand that actually that actually bring, that actually eat up mind share in the back end Google AI kind of like mind brain. And so, that every day we successfully execute methodology, higher chance you'll be getting recommended here AI overview, because you're basically bundling up kind of these building up repetition, authority, relevance, frequency, age of these invisible thematic keyword columns that takes up AI mindshare, which also increases the probability of recommended AI search. ChatGPT growing AI search growing every single day. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Google search is still, approximately 90% of global search, but AI search is literally growing every day. It's what I use most frequently. It's basically just give me the summary. I don't want to click through it after read and figure these things out myself. And I know last time I did search for boudoir photographers in a city that I got 3, and then I went searching myself on Google, and there's like approximately 60 in that city. So I'm like, okay, we definitely got to be building momentum here, increase the probability of recommended in these 3 slots. And you're seeing, okay, SQ methodology is the only thing that will build these invisible thematic keyword columns for you to achieve this increase in probability of AI search being recommended for AI search. And you're also understanding that, my current plan is to only work with 1 boudoir photographer per city. So you decide, hey, you're going to jump on this first, get all these initial benefits, box out your competitors so they can't use me, build up this kind of invisible momentum gap with your competitors to where, we can get it to where essentially they can never, ever catch up to us. And, the converse, if your competitor were to work with me first, that you'd actually have to go rederive or derive SQ methodology for yourself. And then you'd have to go execute it. But you would never be 100% confident putting in the time to execute it because you would not know if you've even derived it correctly in the first place. And, when you'd have to equal our execution every day with me and your competitor, and that's simply to maintain the gap. To actually make up progress, you'd have to double or triple our output every single day using the system I invented, and to close that gap, be able to basically pull that AI mindshare back from me and your competitor, kind of those invisible thematic keyword columns. And who's got 80 hours in a day to do that? So you're like, screw that. You've decided you're going to be first mover of your city to actually get all this stuff done. And so if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed, not taking any new patients. But when my DMs do open, shoot me a DM and we'll see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.